Hello everyone, welcome to Topper IS. As part of our daily series, today also we will look into few of the news that was taken from Hindu as well as from PIB. Okay, so let's get started. So the first one is with respect to Great Barrier Reef. So related to UNESCO, China, and Australia, some kind of political issue is going on. So basically, you should know what Great Barrier Reef is. So it is a coral reef. So coral reef stretching around 2,300 kilometers of northeast coast of Australia, and this coral reef is a World Heritage Site. Okay, so it was listed as a World Heritage Site because of its enormous scientific and intrinsic importance. See, coral reefs are ecologically very important, very productive regions, also known as tropical rainforest of the seas. Okay, so there is ecosystem ecological importance of corals, so keeping that in mind they were listed as world heritage sites. Okay, so several bleaching events on the reef in the past 5 years have caused widespread loss of coral. So coral bleaching events have been reoccurring over last 5 years, and scientists say that the main reason for this is rising sea temperatures. And the rising sea temperature is result of global warming, which is in turn a result of more greenhouse gases because of burning of the fossil fuels. But however, in recent times, what UNESCO experts have said is it is a pollution runoff that has contributed to the loss of corals. Particularly, coral bleaching is result of pollution, is what they are saying. Okay, so natural reason means not natural, because of anthropogenic factors like greenhouse gas emission and global, sea level temperature rise is the main reason. But recently, particularly Great Barrier Reef is also seeing the bleaching events because of increase in pollution level also, is what they are saying. So that is why what UNESCO is doing is it want to list Great Barrier Reef as in danger. So Great Barrier Reef should be listed as in danger, is what the proposal is. Okay, so that's what the issue is. And you should know what is coral bleaching. So coral bleaching is basically, see, coral reefs, there is a symbiotic relationship between algae and coral polyps. Okay, so they are living in symbiotic relationship. So symbiotic meaning both are getting benefited by staying together in terms of food, nutrients, habitats. Okay, but what happens because of, whenever there is a stress conditions. So what we mean by stress conditions, whenever there is variation in temperature, light and nutrients, so corals will expel this algae from their living tissues, and that makes them completely white. See, corals, if you coral reefs, if you see, they are very colorful. So when coral bleaching happens, the algae is expelled, so the color which the coral reefs have is because of algae. So moment the coral is expelled out of, from corals, obviously coral will look now completely white. So that is what we refer it as coral bleaching. So this is an indicator of pollution and global warming. Okay, so here is the diagram, you can make out of it. Okay, so healthy coral, colorful, then stressed coral, and then finally we have bleached coral, which you can see totally white because of expulsion of algae. Okay, and next one is with respect to Pegasus spyware. See, actually, this spyware is in news since almost 2 years now. So internationally, 17 international media groups have come together, and they investigated how Pegasus software was used to, extract messages and information from the phones of journalists, politicians and activists. So as part of this study, telephone numbers of almost some 40 Indian journalists also have been, leaked in the list of potential targets for surveillance. So Indian ministers, government officials and opposition leaders also figure in the list of people whose phones may have been compromised by the spyware. Okay, so certain things. So what the this basically, Pegasus, a spyware, is apparently sold to governments around the world. Who sells it? NSO Group, Israeli company. Okay, and it can be used to snoop on phones that run on Android and iOS systems. So that is nothing but extracting the messages and information on the phones of journalists, politicians, and activists by Israeli company, you remember. So this is what the allegation is. Then related to midday meal scheme, see, actually there was a paper, a study conducted, okay, by the researchers from the University of Washington, economists and nutrition experts at the International Food Policy Research Institute. So this study was related to the impact of midday meals, okay. And what the study says is that, midday meal scheme was reason or associated with 13 to 32% of improvement in the height for age Z scores. See, basically remember that the because of midday meal there was a increase, a problem of stunting has been overcome. Okay, there is an improvement in addressing the stunting issue, meaning height related to the what age, according to the age a person should have a height. Okay, so if it is not the case, then we call it as a stunting issue. Okay, so midday meal has helped to overcome this issue, and HAZ is a one score to calculate that. Okay, height for your age. Okay, then basically a midday meal scheme was launched in the year 1995. Why was it launched? It was launched to provide, children in the government schools with a free cooked meal that has minimum energy content of 450 kilocalorie. So in 1995, minimum energy content of 450 kilocalorie. Remember this factual stuff. And another important things is, basically after COVID, pandemic has hit, schools have been shut down, right? So as consequence of this, no midday meal skill also. So obviously this will have an impact on nutrition. And apart from this, one more thing that is the report highlighting is, see, you also see there have been calls to, do away with cooking meal directly. You can give the direct benefit transfers and all those stuff. But what the advocates of education and cooked meals say that, so providing meal is better than direct benefit transfer, because it will also equally help, girl children also, because you see that the girl children face more discrimination at home and are more likely to drop out of school due to closures. So they suggest is continue with the midday meal schools rather than direct benefit transfer. Then next one is related to Lokpal. So Lokpal yet to get a director of inquiry. Okay, so it has been more than 2 years now. Lokpal Act has come into force, but center is yet to yet to appoint a director of inquiry for conducting preliminary inquiry into graft complaints sent by anti-corruption ombudsman, according to right to information. So it has been 2 years now. Okay, central has yet to appoint director of inquiry. So this director of inquiry is responsible for conducting preliminary inquiry into graft countries, so allegations of corruptions against certain public functionaries. Okay, so this post is yet to be appointed by the government. Then next one is so the next point is Lokpal. So Lokpal is a body, apex body to inquire and investigate graft complaints against public functionaries. So this act came into force in 2019, once the appointment of chairperson and members were done in 2019. Okay, actually it is an act of 2013, but there was a delayed in appointment, so act came into force in 2019. So according to the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act of 2013, there shall be director of inquiry not below the rank of joint secretary to the government of India, who shall be appointed by the central government for conducting preliminary inquiries. Okay, and these inquiries will be referred to the CBC by the Lokpal. Okay, so that is what the director of inquiry post is, which is given in Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2030. So certain investigation, preliminary inquiry, he will be doing it. Then coming to Lokpal and Lokayukta Act, so you should know basic stuff. So this act provided for the establishment Lokpal for the union and Lokayuktas for the state, and this is a statutory body, and it performs a function of ombudsman who will inquiry into the allegations of corruption against certain public functionaries and for other related matters. And it is a multi-member body, consists of one chairperson and maximum of 8 members, and the term of office of Lokpal chairman and members is 5 years or till the age of 70 years. Okay, and the members are appointed by the president on the recommendation of selection committee. Okay, and you should know who are all the constituents of selection committee. Actually, selection committee is composed of prime minister, who is the chairperson of this committee. Then you have speaker of Lok Sabha, you have leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and you also have chief justice of India or a judge nominated by him, and one more eminent jurist. Okay, and for selecting the chairperson and other members, selection committee constitutes a search panel of at least 8 persons. So this search panel will be recommending the names, and among them a selection committee will be suggesting the names. Okay, so that's it for today. You can also download the PDF of this document in the link that is shared below, and do download Topper IAS Institute app so that you get access to n number of these videos which will help you in your UPSC preparation. Thank you.